Welcome to Still Speak Podcast today. I hope you're well. Today I'm bringing you a story not of a missing person, and it's not a breakdown analysis of a case. It's the story of a mother and daughter who was recently murdered. And the suspect, jtmclean, has taken off. This is factual that he is on the run. It's confirmed by police. I checked this morning, and so far, from what I've seen, he has not been found. The murders took place in Columbia, Missouri, and the victims were Allison Abbott's 43 years old, and this one's a hard one, and tragically, Josie Abbott's just 11 years old, and they were murdered on August 21st. You know, you can take the emotion out of the story to discuss the facts of the case. But when you first hear of a story and it involves a child, there is always that initial gut punch feeling of, wow, she was just 11 years old and she was murdered. It's heartbreaking. And you can almost see when a couple, you know, whether it's husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, whatever, you know, maybe things got heated, things got out of control, drugs were involved, whatever. There's an escalation and it leads to one of them being murdered. But when it comes to a child, how did you go from killing your significant other in this fit of rage, right, to killing an innocent little 11-year-old girl? And we don't know who was killed first, so, you know, did she have to witness her mother being killed, or was it she had to witness her daughter? I mean, it's so hard to think about, right? It really is. It's horrible. And as a mom, I can't imagine what this family is going through to not only lose Allison in this horrific way, but also her daughter, Josie. It's absolutely terrible. jtmclean, 45 years old. He also goes by John Stephen or Stephen Nagy, Nagy. He has connections in Missouri, Chicago, and Las Vegas because he is a part-time truck driver. He does have a $1 million cash-only bond upon capture. The Boone County Sheriff's Department charged him with 2 counts of murder in the first degree for killing Allison Abbott and her daughter, Josie. And they released a statement saying that there is reason to believe that he is attempting to evade these charges. Authorities don't know, though, if McLean is traveling or if he's held up at a specific location. All of his vehicles have been located, the ones that were registered to him, and they did find a burn pile that contained cell phones at a Callaway County residence of his. So clearly that's evidence he's trying to hide something. He was the longtime boyfriend of Abbott's. They were found dead in their Boone County home August 22nd after a concerned family member, had not heard from them, which is usually how these cases start. And investigators later determined that Allison Abbott's, was strangled to death. And this one's hard to say. Her daughter was drowned at 11 years old. Horrible. Court documents provided a witness saying that Allison, Josie, and McLean were at a witness's house until 10:30 p.m. on August 21st. And then they were seen together leaving a local Hy-Vee store together on August 21st. At about 11:22 p.m., McLean's car can be seen entering Allison's subdivision on August 21st. By the next morning, August 22nd, at 10:15 a.m., it was seen leaving the subdivision. Authorities, believe that they were killed sometime between that 11:22 p.m. on August 21st and 10:15 a.m. on August 22nd. jtmclean is a white male. He's approximately 5'9". He weighs 210 pounds, green eyes, and brown hair. He does have his hair grown out, but he also has shaved his head in the past, so I'm going to show both pictures on the screen so you can see what he looks like both ways. One's a mugshot, so it's kind of grainy and dark. Anyone with information regarding the investigation or the whereabouts of him are asked to call Boone County Sheriff's Office at 573-442-6131. Anonymous tips can be taken at 573-875-8477. Now the story gets a little more wild because McLean's ex-wife spoke to ABC 17 News, and she said that she's been hiding since hearing of the deaths of Allison and Josie. She said she's still in shock. Quote, "I'm not surprised he responded in such a way, but at the same time, I am in shock," unquote. Her new husband said that the event like this was not out of JT's character. He said, quote, "I've dealt with him for the entire relationship. Now we've been in and out of court for the past 4 years," unquote. He said that McLean threatened to stab him in the face before and threatened to break every finger he had. He advised people to avoid coming in contact with McLean if possible. He said that he wasn't very nice. He said, do not try to start conversation with him or be friends with him because he doesn't want to be friends with anybody. McLean lived with his brother, and the home that they lived in had been listed for sale for about 2 to 3 months, neighbors said, and they also said that they seen McLean driving a black sports car, but they didn't give any specifics on what type of sports car. Now, court documents show that McLean was ordered to stay away from his ex-wife and his child in August of 2017. And if you go back to the divorce agreement in 2016, his ex-wife amended it to only allow supervised visits with their child. And she claimed that he had threatened her and her boyfriend in front of the child, that he wouldn't use a car seat or a seatbelt when the child was in the car, and that he was not taking prescription medications to treat bipolar disorder and severe depression. And she said he also threatened his former in-laws, which would be his ex-wife's parents. He was ordered in March of 2019 to get a psychological evaluation before he can see his child. But 7 months later, court documents said he was in contempt of the order when he didn't get the evaluation. In June of 2020, a judge in Boone County issued a full order of protection for the ex-wife after a temporary order had been issued in May. In the full order, McLean was banned from communicating with his former wife, including their child, which I'm sure really pissed him off. However, he did not follow this order. So in December, he was charged with violating the order of protection, and documents showed that he had messaged his ex-wife on August 27th, October 7th, and October 14th, threatening her so that he can see their child. He then pled guilty to violations of the order in March, and he was sentenced to 2 years of unsupervised probation, which probably wasn't a great idea, considering what happened later. His last known address was on County Road 355 in Fulton, Missouri. Now, I want to say, sometimes in a case, when we, people in other countries, states, areas, etc., see a story, sometimes, and this is hard to believe, but it happens, sometimes locals don't know anything about it. They don't. And they'll come in later like, oh my gosh, I live here and I didn't even know about it. You know, they just, for whatever reason, they don't hear about it, okay? I don't know if it's because the local media isn't covering it. From what I've seen in this case, they are covering it. I haven't really seen it on a national level. I mean, a little bit, but not much. So the point in saying that is share. Even if you're local and you don't assume that everybody knows about it or everybody has seen it, you know, please share it. In Missouri, excuse my dog. So share. In Missouri, in that area, Boone County, get his face out there. Let's help police the best we can to capture and apprehend this horrible person and have him face his charges for brutally murdering a mother and daughter. Thank you so much. Have a great day.